At 10:30 a.m. on October 30th, 2005, a 33-year-old pastor named Kyle Lake stood on a stage inside of the University Baptist Church in Waco, Texas. Kyle had just finished delivering that morning's sermon to his congregation, and now he was about to welcome a new member, a young woman. Now, for Kyle, welcoming a new member into this church had become a very big deal for him. He, in fact, had this special ceremony he would perform for each and every new member. And so today, Kyle was about to do this ceremony with this new member. And so Kyle calls this woman up, and so the woman, she gets up and she walks up to the front of the stage, and then Kyle moved to the very center of the stage where the actual ceremony was going to take place. And he was about to call the woman up to join him when there was a malfunction. Now, the malfunction itself was not really a huge deal. All it did was just stop Kyle for a second, and he had to stop talking to the new member, but quickly he saw a fix that didn't even require him to leave the stage. However, the instant he actually fixed the malfunction, he just began to scream. Now, at first, nobody took this seriously because their pastor was known for playing pranks on the congregation. And so everybody just thought it was a prank. But then Kyle's screams began to include words. He began screaming, "Help me!" And at that point, it sort of clicked for the whole congregation that this was not a joke. And so immediately it was like the church spiraled into chaos and confusion. People are bowing their heads, praying as fiercely as they could, and still more were calling 911. And then by the time the paramedics showed up, people still had no idea what actually was happening. In fact, honestly, the paramedics didn't. But within a few days, they were able to figure out what happened. So the special ceremony that Kyle would perform for every new member was a baptism. And so when Kyle moved to the very center of the stage and he actually called up the woman to join him, he actually was stepping into the baptismal pool. However, before this woman actually got to the pool, Kyle has this malfunction. And all it was is his lapel mic shut off. And because the church he was in was huge, he needed a microphone to project his voice. Luckily, there was a stand with a microphone in it right within arm's reach. And so, Kyle grabbed it. However, what Kyle didn't know was there actually was a second malfunction, and that was that the heaters of the baptismal pool were damaged. The water in that pool had become electrically charged. And so the instant Kyle grabbed that microphone, he grounded the electricity in the pool. He created a pathway for the electricity to travel through his body. When he began to scream, that was him being electrocuted. Despite the efforts of first responders and the medical staff at the hospital, Kyle unfortunately did not survive.